This is Elon Musk. For a long time, Elon looked like the perfect modern hero, the visionary entrepreneur, the workaholic genius. He didn't just talk about the future, he built it. The man sleeping on factory floors while changing the world. Electric cars, reusable rockets, space, AI, clean energy. In a world desperate for hope, Elon Musk felt like proof that one brilliant individual could still bend reality forward. And for a while, the story worked. But then something changed. Not overnight, not in one headline, but slowly and then all at once. Chapter 1. Work Ethic. He famously works brutal hours, sleeps in offices, pushes through exhaustion, and he expects the same level of sacrifice from the people around him. Even as the Tesla Model Y sat on the production line, half assembled, Musk was there, walking the factory floor, checking battery packs, monitoring assembly robots, and demanding relentless focus. The car itself became a silent witness to the intensity. There's no denying the upside. That extreme pressure helped Tesla push the Model Y from concept to production, even when collapse seemed inevitable. When deadlines were impossible, battery supplier chains were strained, and production bottlenecks threatened to derail the launch, Musk's unyielding drive kept the team moving. History shows us this pattern. Sometimes extraordinary pressure really does produce extraordinary results. The Model Y ramp-up became a case study and crashed the system to make it work. A car born out of sweat, long nights, and sheer force of will. But pressure cuts both ways. Tesla's Model Y production was also marked by burnout, fear-driven management, and emotional volatility at the top. Former employees describe environments where questioning leadership was dangerous. Loyalty mattered more than well-being, and exhaustion was treated like a badge of honor. The uncomfortable truth is this: Elon Musk's leadership style often succeeds at building outcomes, like the Model Y hitting production targets and delivering vehicles on schedule, but fails at protecting the people who make it happen. And in the long run, that trade-off always collects interest. Delays, public criticism, and employee turnover are all part of the cost of extreme intensity. Chapter 2. Twitter/X, when the illusion broke. As Musk's influence expanded, the limits of his approach became harder to ignore. Building rockets is one thing, running factories is another, but governing human systems, cultures, platforms, entire digital societies is fundamentally different. And it was Twitter that exposed that difference. If there is a single moment when public perception of Elon Musk shifted decisively, it was the acquisition of Twitter, later rebranded as X. Musk presented the purchase as a principled stand, a defense of free speech, a blow against entrenched tech elites, a return of the digital town square to the people. For many, this resonated. Concerns about censorship, bias, and centralized control were real, and Musk seemed willing to challenge them head-on. What followed, however, wasn't reform. It was disorder. Mass layoffs executed abruptly and publicly, rules rewritten on the fly, moderation swinging wildly between extremes, open feuds with advertisers, journalists, and even his own users. Most significantly, Musk didn't position himself as a steward of the platform. He became the platform. Instead of building neutral systems, he injected his own voice, impulses, and grievances directly into the bloodstream of Twitter. Algorithmic boosts, public bans, reinstatements, and policy shifts increasingly appeared tied to his personal reactions. The result wasn't a freer town square. It was a personalized one. And in that moment, the myth cracked. The engineer who once seemed above the noise was suddenly immersed in it. The visionary who talked about systems and first principles was now arguing in real time with strangers online. The promise of structural reform gave way to the reality of emotional governance. Twitter didn't just change how the platform worked, it changed how Elon Musk was seen. Not as a distant genius bending reality through innovation, but as a powerful individual struggling to manage complexity, contradiction, and restraint in a space defined by human behavior rather than engineering precision. The mask didn't fall all at once, but on Twitter, it slipped just enough for people to notice. The cracks were there to stay. Chapter 3. Ego hits back. Let's be honest. Elon Musk has a massive ego. He thrives on attention. He enjoys provocation. He believes, often sincerely, that he sees reality more clearly than experts, institutions, and sometimes even evidence. And ego isn't inherently bad. Ego fuels ambition. It pushes people to attempt what others won't. It helps someone ignore skepticism long enough to do something genuinely difficult. But ego becomes dangerous when it replaces listening. When Musk listens to engineers, data, and constraints, his companies tend to succeed. When instinct, impulse, and personal grievance take over, things begin to fray. The problem isn't confidence. The problem is confidence scaled to a global audience with little friction, few restraints, and constant reinforcement. And this is where the parallel to Donald Trump becomes unavoidable. Trump power in the feedback loop. Trump's rise to the presidency followed a similar arc. He positioned himself as an outsider. He framed institutions as corrupt. He cast criticism not as disagreement, but as proof of conspiracy or bias. Like Musk, Trump was energized by attention, especially negative attention. Conflict wasn't a cost, it was fuel. The more resistance he encountered, the more certain he became that he alone was right. And as his platform grew, so did the echo chamber around him. Advisors became loyalists, experts became enemies, constraints became personal insults. Trump didn't just run for president, he became the story. The movement, the mission, and the man collapsed into a single identity. To challenge one was to challenge all three. Sound familiar? Something fundamental changed. This is the moment where the story shifts for both men. Early Elon Musk was defined by what he built. Later Elon Musk is increasingly defined by what he reacts to. Early Trump was a brand. Later Trump became a political identity unto himself. In both cases, the builder became the broadcaster. The leader became the protagonist. The mission became inseparable from the ego. And once that happens, criticism no longer registers as useful signal. It feels personal. Limits feel insulting. Accountability feels like an attack. At that stage, power stops being a tool for building systems and starts becoming a mirror. And the danger isn't that these figures are wrong all the time. It's that they begin to believe they can't be wrong. Because admitting error would mean cracking not just a strategy or a policy, but the entire self-image holding the enterprise together. That's not just a leadership problem, that's a structural one. This video isn't about idolizing Elon Musk, and it isn't about tearing him down. It's about looking past the headlines and the hype and asking what success actually costs. The Tesla Model Y was our lens, not because it's perfect, but because it's real. A product shaped by vision, pressure, sacrifice, and speed. Through it, we saw both sides of extreme leadership, how relentless focus can push innovation forward, and how that same intensity can strain the people behind it. This isn't a simple story with a hero or a villain. It's a story about trade-offs, because the future isn't built by ideas alone. It's built by people, working inside systems created by those in power. And if we want better outcomes tomorrow, we have to start asking harder questions today, not just about Elon Musk, but about the kind of leadership, culture, and values we choose to reward.